Hey, Dad, it's Rosie. Sorry to bug you while you're at work. I know you're probably busy.
Huh? Rosie, how are you? Wait, are you on your mom's phone? What's up?
My phone's battery died. That's why I'm using Mom's. The results for my college entrance exams just got announced, and I wanted to share the news.
You've already seen them? This is where you find out whether you got into your first choice of college, right?
Yep, that's right. So, without further ado, can I tell you?
Go on, the suspense is killing me. How'd you do?
I passed.
Woohoo! Nice! You got into your first choice of college. Congratulations, sweetie. That is my girl.
Thanks, Dad. I'm so pleased. It feels even better because there were so many people at school who said I couldn't do it. I couldn't be happier right now.
I never doubted you for a second because I know that when my daughter sets her sights on something, she gets it.
Wow. Really?
Really. I remember how you used to say you were going to look for work straight out of high school, and it's no secret how much you used to hate studying. Which is why I knew you must have been doing some serious soul-searching when you told me you were shooting for a place at Pepys University. The look on your face alone told me how serious you were. It was plain for anyone to see how hard you were studying. Let's face it, sweetie, with commitment like that, it was only a matter of time before you achieve your dream. I'm so proud of you.
I guess I changed when I decided what I wanted to do with my future. I lost count of the amount of caffeine-fueled study binges and sleepless nights I had this last year. I practically lived in the library. I was in there every day after school and on all my days off. I even locked all my games away and gave the key to my friend.
You worked harder than anyone. It's amazing to think you went from literally never studying because you hated it so much to being in the library so much you should have probably been paying rent. There's only one thing for it. We're going out to celebrate today. How about we go out for a meal at one of your favorite places? My tree?
It's fine. You don't have to do that.
Huh? How come? Surely you want to celebrate. You worked hard and you deserve it. I don't think it's any trouble. I'd love to treat you. How about hamburgers, huh? Or maybe we could grab a pizza?
But Pepys University is a private college, Dad. My tuition fees aren't gonna come cheap. I think you should save your money.
What are you talking about? It almost sounds like you're disappointed you got in. You went with them because they offer the best diploma in the country for what you want to do, right? If that's what it takes for you to succeed, I'll pay your college fees 10 times over. Don't sweat it, sweetie. The money's not an issue. Besides, it's a celebration. What's money even for if you can't take your daughter out to dinner on one of the biggest days of her life?
This college is expensive, Dad. It's obviously gonna bother me when you're already spending so much.
I told you, Rosie, you don't have to worry about that one bit. All I ask is that you go to all your classes. No playing hooky, okay? Will you promise me to make your time there count? There's no doubt about it. Getting into a college like that is a huge achievement. But it's still just the beginning. The real hard work is still ahead of you.
Yeah, I promise. I'll study twice as hard as everyone else. I'll get the highest grades in the whole college. You just wait.
That's the spirit. That's what I needed to hear. You really did work hard to get here. Well done, Rosie. Okay then, it's settled. We're going out to celebrate tonight. Tell your mum when we've decided which restaurant you want to go to, okay?
Got it. Thanks, Dad. Hey, Billy. How's work going? Sorry she kept you talking so long. I know you're busy with work. I hope she wasn't interrupting you.
It's cool, I wasn't doing anything. Took a late lunch break today. I was waiting to hear about her results. I couldn't focus on my work knowing today was the day.
I guess it's okay then. I did tell her to tell you about her results over the phone, but I think she did it over message because she was embarrassed. Can you believe her? Imagine announcing such good news over text.
Huh? Text is fine, really. If we did it over the phone, hearing the happiness in her voice would probably make me burst into tears. But I'm sat in the work cafeteria, so it would have been a disaster. My street cred would never recover.
Are you really that pleased?
Of course I am. How could I not be? Rosie's never worked this hard for anything in her life, and not only that, but she just got into one of the most prestigious colleges in the country. She went from hating studying to practically living in the library and taking some supplementary classes than anyone else in the school. She works so hard it almost brings a tear to my eye.
That just means she really wanted to get into that college. That's all well and good, but the problem is the money. Private college costs an arm and a leg.
What's the problem? This is our daughter's future we're talking about. It's not like we can't afford it. It's fine, really.
It is not fine.
Rosie's an only child. And it's not like we struggle financially. She didn't get into Peeps University by chance or apply half-assedly, because that's where her friends are going. She worked her ass off to get in because she has a clear objective and a vision for the future. It's rare for someone to have that at her age, and it should be cultivated and encouraged. She's done her part, now it's time for us to do ours as her parents. I said it to her, and I'll say it to you, I'd pay her tuition fees 10 times over if it means her realizing her dream.
Ugh, I knew you'd be like this. You're so quick to spoil that girl. Have you heard, by the way? She's saying she wants to live on her own now.
Wait, what? But her attending from home was one of the conditions of her going to Peeps University. It's not that far from here, is it? I thought she was going to take the bus.
Yes, that was the plan. But now she's defying us and saying she wants to move out and live on her own.
I see. This isn't what she promised us.
She knows she could easily make it from home, but now she says she's having second thoughts. She said she wants to live in the college dorm.
They have dorms? Actually, it's probably cheaper than a regular apartment, right? Maybe it's not such a big deal after all. But is she going to be alright living with a bunch of other students? She's never done anything like that before.
Her argument is that the dorms are on campus, so she'll be able to stay at the college library as late as she wants. And that it'll be easier to make friends that way. That's why she wants to move out and live on campus.
Yeah, it'd be good for her to hang out with her friends. I never did it myself, but I always thought living in the college dorms looked like a whole lot of fun. Student life is stressful, and maybe being in that environment would be more conducive to maintaining a study routine. Now I think about it, I guess living here with us could make her feel kinda isolated.
But do you really think it's acceptable for her to break the promise she made to us when she applied? Because I don't. Doing a 180 on us like this after getting her results is unfair.
You do have a point. She's not a kid anymore. She should know that her word is more important and take responsibility for what she says.
Do you think it's because she's an only child? The reason she ended up so selfish? Remember the time she pestered us for piano lessons and then did everything she could to get out of practicing? What a waste of money that was. I'm just worried she'll do the same thing again.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing to invest money in your children, but we have to use our heads because it stops being an investment if she doesn't take it seriously and lets the money go to waste. If we do this, it'll be the most we've ever spent on her. First we have the tuition fees, then her rent, then her living costs. Sure, we might not be struggling financially right now, but we could be one day if we're not careful. We can't afford to waste any more money.
I get where you're coming from, but she was a different person back then. Surely you can see that. I think we should have faith in her and see what happens. You gotta admit, she worked her ass off this past year. I think you should consider the college dorm thing. Henrietta, you there? Did Rosie reply yet?
Nope, nothing.
Seriously? Gah. When did you last message her?
Last night. It has the tick, so she definitely read it. She's ignoring me on purpose.
She hasn't messaged me at all lately either. I made it clear she was to stay in regular contact with us both when she moved into a dormitory. What the heck is she playing at? Did she get a boyfriend or something?
Apparently, she spends most of her time at that new job of hers. I have no idea what she thinks she's doing.
New job?
She got a job at a cafe near the college. She said one of the sophomores in her dorm introduced her through a friend of a friend.
How can she be making all of her classes and keeping up with her assignments if she's working all the time? I don't like this. I don't like it one bit. She promised me she'd give college her all.
Looks like she was just saying all that so we'd pay to send her there. This is Rosie we're talking about. You know what she's like.
But why would she do this? She was so committed to her studies before she got in. I've never seen her so dedicated to anything in her life. She sacrificed her entire social life to get into this college, and now she's acting like this. I don't get it.
Stop burying your head in the sand, Billy. She's always had this side of her. Surely you know what I mean. You know how easily she gets bored of things. She's so quick to go hot and cold. It wouldn't be the first time.
I wonder if she got involved in some kind of trouble at college. You think maybe she got involved with the wrong crowd? Have you heard anything from the college? She could have started drinking or seen a boy or... I don't know. I know I shouldn't let my imagination run wild like this, but it's hard when she barely ever messages me.
Oh, I can assure you, she messages me. It's never the sort of thing I want to hear, though. Over the last month alone, I've been the lucky recipient of such charming one-liners as, "Get lost, you're boring," and "Leave me alone." I've never known her to be this rebellious.
Wow, does she seriously think that's an acceptable way to speak to her mother?
I don't know what to do with her, Billy. She said she doesn't want to speak to you.
What? Why not? Did I do something to upset her?
I have no idea. But it's common knowledge that most girls rebel against their dads around her age. She's a little later than most, but maybe this is the start of her rebellious phase.
Does it really happen this suddenly? It's like she's a different person. I had no idea going to college would change her like this. I wouldn't have agreed to her going off to live in the dorms if I knew this was going to happen.
Is it time to employ starvation tactics?
What the hell is starvation tactics?
I think we should stop sending her money for her living expenses. She'll never reflect on her behavior if she doesn't learn the hard way that her actions have consequences.
Isn't that going a little far? I don't want to starve my own daughter.
She has a job, Billy. If she's so intent on spending so much of her time working instead of focusing on her studies, it's about time she learned that nothing in this life comes free. She'll be able to get by on her wages. I know it's not an easy decision, but if we carry on spoiling her like this, we'll only end up hurting her in the long run.
I guess.
I bet she's out spending her wages from that damn job drinking with her friends as we speak. I bet she'll finally start being grateful towards us if the gravy train comes to an abrupt halt.
You're right. She'll probably be bombarding us with apologies before the week's up. Then we can give her a stern lecture. Remind her what she promised us when we agreed to send her to college and go back to normal.
Hello? Why did you stop sending my allowance? I'm struggling so much right now you wouldn't believe. Dad, please help me. I can't afford to live. I'm gonna have to drop out of college at this rate. I worked so hard to get here. I'm not even gonna make it to my second year if things carry on this way. Why are you punishing me like this? Did I do something to upset you? I can't even tag along with my friends when they go out for food together. I'm buying the cheapest stuff I can from the supermarket, and I can barely even afford to feed myself.
What are you talking about? You're the one who left home because you wanted to go live in the college dorm. I don't send money to daughters who don't keep their promises.
I left home because I wanted to... What? That's not true. You're the one who kicked me out.
What are you even saying? You decided you wanted to move out to live on campus and broke your promise to us while staying at home as soon as your entrance exam results came in. Then when you left, you stopped messaging us. You're the one who's in the wrong here, Rosie.
I never said I wanted to live on campus. You kicked me out and I had no choice. And what are you talking about? I stopped messaging you guys. That's not true at all. I message Mom all the time. But you told her to stop speaking to me, didn't you?
Huh? Wait a second, I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Why would I kick you out? The initial plan was for you to go to college from home, remember? I never told Mom to stop speaking to you at all. What the hell?
That's what she told me. I thought you hated me.
Hate you? You're my daughter, Rosie. I could never hate you. I was worried sick because you stopped messaging me. I did stop sending you monthly allowance recently, but that was only to teach you a lesson for breaking your promises to us. We thought you stopped taking your studies seriously. I was ready to start sending the money again the moment you apologized.
Recently, but you haven't been sending me any money for months now. I had no choice but to get by on what little I make from my part-time cafe job.
What?
It didn't take me very far, though. Before long, I had to up my hours there to cover my living costs, which means I haven't been able to keep up with my studies for months. And I'm so stressed I can't take it anymore. That's why I'm messaging you now. I figured that even if you did hate me, hashing it out with you is better than enduring the living hell I call life any longer.
None of this makes any sense. This is completely different to what your mom told me. Firstly, let me make one thing crystal clear. I never kicked you out of the house. Secondly, I only stopped sending your allowance at the start of this month. So, I don't know what you mean when you say you haven't been getting it for months. Your mom was in charge of sending it before. And she said you'd been getting it as normal before we decided to stop it.
Wait a second. What's going on here? Does this mean Mom is lying? But why would she? Mom, please, will you ask Dad if he'll change his mind one more time? I'm begging you. I have no money left. I just ran out of cup noodles and I can't afford any more food for the next 2 weeks. I'm sorry, Rosie, but I can't do that. Your father told me not to help you no matter how difficult things get. Why? This doesn't make any sense. Why would he be so hard on me? He was never this strict before. It pains me to tell you this, but if you must know the truth, your dad was opposed to you going to that expensive private college from the get-go. Surely you remember how many different classes we sent you to? And how many private tutors we hired for you when you were younger? We spent all that money on you, only for you to get bored and quit every time. Your dad says he's sick and tired of your behavior, and he isn't going to put up with it anymore. He says we're not wasting another cent on you. But he told me he was happy to send me to a private college. Even if it was expensive, 'cause I have a clear vision of what I want to do with my life. My being here at college is not a waste of money. I was studying so hard until I had to start working full-time because my allowance stopped. He told me he didn't mind the tuition fees because he could tell how serious I was. He lied. He said he's not going to let you waste any more of his hard-earned money or reduce this family's wealth any more than you already have. That's not all. He said he's cutting you out of our inheritance, too. Inheritance? That's right. Me and your dad still have our retirement to think about. But he said it'll end up being a miserable one if we let you carry on wasting our money.
What the hell are you talking about? I never said any of that.
Huh? This is Rosie I'm talking to, isn't it? What's gotten into you, young lady?
It's me. Well, when did I say I was cutting Rosie out of our inheritance? Go on, I'm waiting. The only one who's obsessed with clinging on to as much of our money as possible is you. Is this how desperate you are not to let our daughter have her inheritance?
Billy?
Was this all one big scheme to stop her getting her inheritance? Go on, answer me! You were trying to drive a wedge between me and my daughter, weren't you?
Why are you using her phone? Or rather, how? Are you with her right now?
Just met up for a chat. She messaged me earlier. For some reason, she seemed to be under the impression that I kicked her out of the house. I was so surprised my jaw almost hit the floor. You wouldn't happen to know anything about this, would you, Henrietta?
What did she say to you?
You told her I hated her and didn't want to speak to her, didn't you? This is nothing like the story you told me. What the hell do you think you're playing at?
Nothing. There must be some kind of misunderstanding.
You can say that again. And whose fault is that we were misunderstood? Huh, Henrietta? Huh? Rosie was so poor, she was forced to live off a single packet of cup noodles per day. And barely had time to make her classes because she was working so much. I just met her again for the first time in months, and I hardly recognize her. She must have dropped over 20 pounds. How could you do this to our daughter? How would you even sleep at night?
I was just trying to stop her wasting our money, that's all. I thought if she learned a hard lesson or two, she'd stop and we could go back to normal. I was gonna start sending the money again, I swear. We spent so much on her, but she never showed us so much as an ounce of gratitude. I wanted her to learn the meaning of money the hard way. And I wanted her to know how difficult life can be when you don't have any.
Of course you spent a lot of money on her. She's our daughter, goddammit! Did you think raising a kid was going to be cheap? Sure, the timing and the things the money gets spent on might differ from family to family, but the bottom line is that kids are expensive. Things have always been that way, and they always will be. And you're delusional if you think otherwise. Almost all of them are going to college at her age now. That's just the way it is these days. We brought her into the world, and it's our duty as her parents to look out for her until she graduates.
I'm sorry, Billy, but I can't go along with that. She was wasting all of our hard-earned money, and someone needed to do something about it before it was too late. Did you even think through the implications of this? If she'd have carried on at that rate, we wouldn't have anything left for our retirement.
Drop the bullshit, Henrietta. We could have sent her to college twice over and still have enough money to retire on, and you know it. You weren't worried about not being able to afford retirement. You were worried your life of luxury and extravagance would have to come to an end. I know you stopped sending her allowance months ago. While at the same time, splashing out on branded accessories and expensive perfumes for yourself. Oh yeah, and let's not forget the holidays. You've been living it up while our daughter's been suffering in silence. I'm gonna go on a limb and guess you bought all that junk on the money that was supposed to go towards her education.
I don't want to hear this, Billy. Stop making out I'm the villain when you yourself agreed to stop her allowance. You said we needed to teach her a lesson.
I said that 2 months ago. You stopped her allowance months before that.
No, I didn't. Please, Billy, you mustn't believe Rosie's lies. I sent it just like I was supposed to.
The only lie here is you. I checked the bank account. It was just like she said. The payments dried up a long time ago. Way before I said anything about teaching her a lesson.
She could be using a different bank account. Stop believing everything she says and think for yourself.
Aren't you forgetting something? You know I have all of our chat logs here on our phone, right? One look at them made it obvious who the liar is. Rosie's telling the truth about everything. Stop trying to shift the blame onto our daughter and own up to what you've done. You abominable excuse of a mother.
Billy, please, I had no choice. You're too soft on her. She would have carried on wasting our money till we were bankrupt if I didn't intervene.
I was using very mild carrot and stick tactics to try and gently encourage her in the right direction. What you did was reprehensible. You should be as disgusted with yourself as I am. I was being strict with her because I cared about her. Sometimes you have to be cruel to be kind, but it's like you forgot the kindness part. You were only interested in satisfying your own greed. You're the most selfish person I've ever met.
So what if I'm selfish? If I don't look out for number one, who will? I haven't done anything wrong. Money makes the world go round. All I did was protect what was mine.
Are you so obsessed with money that you'd throw your own daughter under the bus for it? You have no right to be a mother.
You have no idea how hard it's been for me to play the role of the perfect mommy all the time. But Rosie's not a baby anymore. Surely it's about time we cut her loose. She can't leash off us forever. How's she supposed to learn the skills she needs to get by in life if she does nothing but rely on mommy and daddy?
It's standard practice for parents to look out for kids until they graduate college and land their first proper job. You know that, right? Your attitude towards our daughter is sickening. You know what? I don't even see any point in talking to you. Because all you do is twist everything to fit your shallow, materialistic worldview. I think our marriage is just about over.
No. Wait, why would you say that?
I'd say that because I want you to get the hell out of this house! I'd never be able to forgive myself if I didn't make you take responsibility for what you did to Rosie, and most likely, neither would she. Her allowance payments will start again immediately.
Don't you think you're overreacting a little by kicking me out?
Me and Rosie have both had it with you. We're beyond livid. We couldn't be more disappointed in you. Besides, I have to do this. I can never trust you again. Who's to say your next money-grabbing scheme will be?
Oh, don't be so dramatic. This was just a one-off. I swear, I'm sorry. I promise I'll never do anything like this again.
When we divorce, you probably won't even be in with a shot at getting half my stuff once a judge finds out about what you did to our daughter. And you know what? I couldn't be happier about that. You don't deserve a thing!
I'm not divorcing. I won't. No way. Absolutely not.
Sorry, sweet cheeks, but I got news for you. My family are the only people who are allowed to spend my hard-earned money. You're not part of my family anymore. I probably wouldn't even be able to afford to retire with you around blowing my money on frivolous, overpriced branded junk. Hurry up and disappear from my life forever. You're not going to waste any more of my hard-earned money than you already have. Not long after that, I found out that Henrietta had cancelled the insurance policy we'd had on Rosie since she was a little kid behind my back. So she'd have more money to waste on pretentious garbage. With that, my mind was made up once and for all. I was going ahead with the divorce and nothing was going to stop me. It wasn't pretty and it wasn't without its hiccups. But eventually the divorce was finalized and I was able to get rid of my ex-wife for good. Henrietta was ordered to pay back every cent of what she'd stolen from my daughter's allowance and insurance money. And with that, found herself in the unfortunate position of starting a new life on her own with an empty bank account. She did her fair share of complaining when she left the house, but when I told her to shut up and give me my money, she burst into tears. The once energetic, defiant Henrietta was now nothing but a crumpled, tear-stained mess on the floor. The irony of her telling Rosie to stop over-relying on us and stand on her own 2 feet while simultaneously living a life of luxury, extravagance on my hard-earned money, is not lost on me. I doubt she can see it though. Some people are so lacking in self-awareness that it'd be funny if it wasn't so frightening. After the divorce, I resumed my payments to Rosie, including back payments for everything her various mother had deprived her of, and started her insurance policy back up. The oppressive weight of a mother's greed has been lifted from her shoulders, and she's back to her bubbly old self. With Henrietta out of the picture, she was finally able to reduce her hours at the cafe, and start focusing on her college studies again. Now she sends me daily reports on her study marathons in the college library. And I couldn't be more relieved to see her back on track. My daughter's as tough and resilient as they come. I'm always going to be there to watch over her, and I'll be there for her through thick and thin. With determination as strong as hers, I just know that one day she'll achieve her dream.